I thought I did. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to Lorain County Board of Commissioners, Friday, November 22nd, regular meeting. Please stand for the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell?
Here.
Commissioner Hung, or Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Hung? Here. We have a quorum. Under resolutions, number 1, investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 2, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 4, advances, repayments. There were none. Number 5, requisitions.
That's page 1. Victor, can we have page 2? Page 3.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. I looked out there, the crowd went like this. There we go. And page 4. Okay. Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 7, bills.
And page 2. And page 3.
Like 6 pages.
Well, that's the general fund.
Yeah.
Notice that the 3 pages only add up to 11,000. Special revenue, bills. Page 5. And page 6.
Page 6 is usually that one document that's,
Yeah. And notice we don't have one with the other format this time.
yep,
so.
yep.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters as specifically identified by motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G 1 through 8. Are you going into executive session?
Move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
B, public comment on agenda items.
We have one request. Brian Baker on item 10.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Baker, 49822 Greystone Drive. I just have a quick question on there. I do understand using a credit card. I do understand raising the limits, but where do we find that information on the bills? I mean, I've gone back and looked. I don't see where I can find that breakdown of where you pay that. So where's the approval for the commissioners to pay that credit card bill for Lorain? And maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. I'm just trying to look. And the reason I would say that is if you have 12 cards out there, $8,000, that's potential for $96,000 in a month you could actually have. So I
2
just want to
months.
make sure. Well, 2 months. We'll say over 2 months. Still, that's a lot of money. That's $100,000. I'm just looking to see
Sure.
where you can find that information.
Okay. Casey?
Yep, so sure, those would be, when we have those invoices, those would be on the bills. So,
Okay.
I'll be honest, it doesn't get used very often. Usually when it's usually to reserve a hotel or something to do with travel or seminar. So, I can speak for the commissioner's specific credit card, it doesn't get used a whole lot, so, but it would be on the recap of the bills.
So that'd be for all departments then? It would be in the bills if anybody used it then?
Only the ones that would come to the commissioners for approval. So no, so,
Okay.
for instance, another elected official's credit card would not necessarily come through.
So only ones it would be is who the commissioners are approving?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
thank you for the
And the
information.
rationale for that is that it's actually streamlined to use the Visa card, because if we don't, I went to the first Commissioners Convention, I took with me a warrant from the auditor. I paid for my hotel room with the warrant.
Yeah.
The hotel then has to take the warrant and send it back to Lorain County to get a check.
I mean, I understand, I just didn't know how it was listed up there because I couldn't find it. Maybe it's not being used. But the potential of it doesn't come here to get approved. There is a potential for not being used properly. So
I think
thank
you will
you.
find, if you go to the other entities, like Veteran Services will approve the credit card expenditures at their board meetings, so it'll be part of their minutes. And I'm pretty sure Children's Services does the same. And I think those are probably the two biggest regular users.
But you still here, you raise their limits then. So why would you raise their limits here if you don't approve them?
Well,
Uh,
we're in the middle of, Casey is in the middle of
Right.
negotiating with the auditor
just
right
gonna
now,
plug that, yeah.
because the statute changed 18 months ago. And we're in the middle of putting together a new credit card policy, so some of these questions I
For the
think are
county.
a little early,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right, well, thank you
And
for
when
your
we
time.
do, we ask the other electeds to, coincide their policy with ours, so it's a consistent policy.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully everybody has a nice Thanksgiving, because I'm
Happy
not coming up
Thanksgiving
in
to
the
you.
other public comment, okay, Jeff?
Go ahead.
Is there any old business?
I just want to say one thing. We were a little fast this morning, but I wanted to give a little shout out to the recorder, or not the recorder, the clerk of courts. Item number 1 on the appropriations today was the return of $750,000 in money that they did not need to use to run the department. And in the spirit of the way that we'd like to do things for the benefit of the taxpayers, I want to reach out to the clerk of courts and give him the proper recognition. Go ahead.
Just another point of clarification on that. So that is money he's giving from his special revenue back to the general fund. So that's
Correct.
not return of general fund dollars. Those are from his special revenue. He's sending over to the general fund.
Correct.
Yep.
Like many of the departments that do fees, we give them a budget to run the department, they collect fees. And so these fees are in excess of what he needs to run the department. So, half a dozen of one, 6 of the other, but the point is, he's returning the funds not necessary to run the department.
Yeah, I usually always argue with him in regards to the term donation, so.
And
but
will
the
again
bottom li-
this year.
This year, I had to say it because he's not here, so.
I'm
but the
sure
way he
I'll get
just-
a text in just a few minutes.
Oh, you gonna text him? Yeah. Well, Tom and I always go back and forth in regards to that, and the bottom line is, he said, look, at other counties will use that service fee income to build up their department, and Tom didn't do that. And so that's when we always have our little discussion on whether it's a donation or a return, because other elected officials in other counties that are in that position will use those service fees to add to their account, because those fees and those employees don't come through us.
Right.
So I do commend him on keeping his expenses down. I'm sorry, you wanted to add
Yeah,
something.
what Dave said, and Mr. President, it was I hate to correct you, but I don't want the media to get it wrong and quote you as saying it was an appropriation. It's a fund transfer back into the
fund
general
transfer.
fund, yeah, so don't want them to get that wrong.
Yeah, they're never wrong, right?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I would like to add that the Clerk of Courts also funds his office renovation projects outside the general fund. So, you know, he does help us a lot. He's a good partner, and we do appreciate it.
Boy, Tom's not here to hear any of this positive stuff. You have to text him.
Can we,
tell him.
can we stop that now?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Karen, if you wanna Karen, if you wanna do the shameless plug for the carpeting that it did finally get done, right? It was a 2-year saga.
Right, and that was actually, I think that was done last year. We completed that project last year, and as Commissioner Riddell knows, we have another carpet project that we need to talk about for funding for next year.
I think polished concrete is the best looking floor you can have.
You're gonna have to abstain from that decision right now.
I'm not in the concrete business
Oh,
anymore.
that's right.
Okay.
I guess
there
we better
anything-
start to get going with the
Teresa.
meeting again.
Anything further? No?
Oh, let's move.
Okay, under board business, number 9, approve and waive the reading of the county commissioners meeting minutes of November 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 10, authorize an increase to Lorain Visa credit card issued to Jeff Armbruster, Lorain County Administrator, to utilize County Lorain Visa card from $5,000 to $8,000 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 301.27 and permissible policy.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 11, retaining attorney Bill Novak to serve as counsel for Lorain County Board of Commissioners in the matter of public business, case number 123 CV 01507.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Abstain?
Number 12, authorize equitable 457 plan to offer certain deferred compensation services Lorain County employees authorized by section 457B of the Internal Revenue Code. Authorize county administrator to execute the documents on behalf of the board.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Under the Sheriff, 13, allowing Lorain County Sheriff Phil Arstamitti to purchase a service revolver for $25 upon his retirement on January 5th of 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Just for folks that watch this, this is a long-standing tradition in law enforcement, and we are glad to continue that tradition.
Let's hope people get a gold watch.
Anything further? Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
County Administrator update.
Good morning, Commissioners. I wanted to provide you with a brief update on our successful microtransit service. So we've received some new stats from VIA, and right now, between our start date of July of 2024 and October 31st, we have served 1,625 riders, completed 19,000 rides. Our average ride time is 12 minutes. Our average wait time is 16 minutes. And 92% of the rides are booked via smartphone. Lorain ridership is at 57.6%. Illyria's ridership is at 42.4%. November 13th, actually on November 12th, we broke 300 rides a day. And then on the 13th, we got up to 318 rides. So, of course, we're monitoring those stats pretty regularly, biweekly, and what we are noticing that our estimated arrival time, our wait time, is creeping up almost to 20 minutes. And so we've expressed to VIA that that's not acceptable for us. We expect those wait times to be more like a 10-minute wait time. So the problem seems to be trying to get drivers. So I would encourage anybody who's interested to drive for the VIA. There is a way that you can apply through the website. You could go to Lorain County LorainCountyOhio.gov, go to Lorain County Transit, and then on the left-hand side, there's a menu, and you can just scroll down to LC Via, and that'll take you to the Via website. You'll have to scroll through all the how to book a ride thing, but down at the bottom, it says, if you want to apply to be a driver, click here, and then you can apply online. The drivers are Via drivers, they're not Lorain County drivers. Also wanted to share,
Well, before you move on, are they providing any numbers on the fixed route system to see so we can compare what's going on with our fixed route?
fixed route would be a different software, and I don't
Oh, I
have
thought
those
they were
numbers.
doing both. I thought we were actually monitoring our fixed routes too.
We are in the process
Oh, okay.
of, VIA is participating in our transportation plan.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of that participation is to join those two services, the fixed
Right.
route and the microtransit. So we're looking to do, for our next year, work towards shared funding plan for the
Okay.
microtransit in year 2. Also, regular data sharing with the cities and, of course, with the fixed routes. Broader community surveys and engagement, and to continue to study the service design based on data. We're going to look to add areas and rethink other areas and incorporate the data for future fixed route planning. How to find ways to partner with outside community services and, try to broaden the
Well, I know-
microtransit
I know
success.
you're on it. I just didn't know if you had
Yeah.
any data on the fixed routes.
Yeah, we're working on it, because
Okay.
right
I-
now,
but-
transit is required to complete its transportation plan for the next 5 years. So with the help of NOACA, we have a consultant, and of course, VIA's involved in that, so that
Okay.
we can have better numbers for you probably in the first quarter of '25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 'cause, the key is to integrate via and still continue to get the same funding without going to the taxpayers,
That's correct.
we spoke at the mayor's meeting on Wednesday morning and kind of dropped a hint that maybe it's, cities, if they are happy with this program, maybe if other communities want to partake, hopefully we can have some numbers for them to say this is how much it's going to cost.
Yes.
And,
So,
we
my
can
ho-
subsidize a lot of it, but the cities are gonna have to start ponying up with the successful program, because we can't, our budget, about 5 million in grant money we get a year?
Yes.
So, when can we start,
Right.
you know?
And we're going to have, we're looking at trying to spread out our grant monies to serve multiple communities.
yeah.
So as we're doing that, the cities or the communities are going to have to participate a little bit more.
Okay.
So what I've asked VIA to do is to basically do the research for us. How do other communities make this happen? So I don't want us to have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
We can offer some plans that the cities can take a look at, and whatever they believe they can afford, then we'll try to, partner and work with them as best we can.
Yeah, I got one complaint, and that was from a gentleman that said between 8:15 and 9 in Lorain, he couldn't get a ride because of the schools.
Yeah, there is,
I don't know if they've addressed that, or,
yeah, they have noted the peak hours and times.
have they?
And I
Okay.
think that they are going to start posting that on the website.
So to warn everybody.
So,
it's
yeah,
gonna
if
be-
you, try to plan around those peak times, if you, need the service quickly.
Unfortunately, the jobs may not be able to let them do that.
Right,
so.
exactly. I will say that our top 5 locations, vocational guidance services, Lorain County Community College, Walmart on Levitt Road, Mercy Regional Medical Center, Chestnut Commons, and Meyer on Levitt Road. And other notable locations is the Lorain Public Library. People still go to the library, folks. Neighborhood Alliance and Elyria High School. And that is going to pick up, Elyria High does not have busing. So, they do use the microtransit service and Lorain County Transit fixed routes to get to school.
Well,
So, and
I
that,
think we had that conversation, though, when they announced that they were gonna make it available to students, and that we need to work very hard to make sure that, nothing against education and high school students, but, we need the priority of our public, that doesn't have alternatives, and they need to get to doctors or their job or whatever, so hopefully we can iron that out.
we'll certainly take a look at it. And that completes my report.
I don't know what VIA would do if every other school system quit busing.
If that happened, it certainly wouldn't help our budget that we're looking at right now, that's for sure. recognize that this is, VIA was put together with grant money. There's an end to it. So as we expand it, we've got to really figure out whether the communities out there are going to help us. Those mayors are actually going to have, those city councils are going to actually step up to the plate if we want this to continue beyond the end of, or when it stops in 25. I just want everybody to recognize that. I certainly would, I like the service. I think it's great, but it's awful inexpensive, and it certainly is inexpensive now because nobody's paying for it except for the federal government, which is our tax dollars anyway. I'm not lecturing anybody. I'm just kind of elevating the,
Well, that
the
was
thought
part of
process as administrator.
That was part of the very broad conversation we had with the monthly mayor's meeting, is that, you know, don't be fooled. This is a $2 ride. So even if I
Nobody's
had a
making money.
car, I probably can't drive to where I want to go for $2. So at the end of the day, it's economical so that we can collect real data on what the maximum pool would look like of usage. Secondly, we let the mayors know that, you know, this was an advance that the commissioners did to fund this project. Instead of 26 and 27, we want to fund it in 24, 25 so that we get going on it. But it's a paradigm shift from running around in circles trying to be something to everybody. And what we're doing now is very targeted so that we are,
Housekeeping.
yeah, we're targeted so that we're getting people from where they're at to where they need to go. And that as a result, there'll be a role for city government in town, you know, for other branches of the government, as well as a role for employers if we find that this service is being used, and directed them to contact R.W. Beckett, because they received an award from NOACA, who also promotes mass transportation and public transportation. And they, when gas prices were really high, they organized carpooling and subsidized it to get their employees to work, so that the employees, you know, again, would be able to get to work, you know, regularly and on time. And it's been very successful, and it was recognized by NOACA. So there's a role for business and government, local government and the county to do all this. And the county doesn't need to run it, but our role is primarily coordination.
So to continue with the report, we obviously, as we continue to modernize 911, there are growing pains. And last night there was a growing pain. So I actually have asked Rob Berner to come over and give us an update on, and Todd Sharkey from IT, as to how we're working with Verizon and AT&T and Windstream and all these different companies and organizations and states out there to modernize and get us to a point where we're almost, you know, till 25, the fall of 25, when we could complete the project. Although in IT, I don't know if anything's ever complete. So Rob, would you?
We can hear you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here this morning. It's always a pleasure to come to the Commissioners and tell you about a problem. Basically, what happened yesterday was we were doing some upgrades at the Gateway building with the generator. They informed us about 11:45 in the morning that there'd be an outage about 12:30 for a transfer switch to be reprogrammed. So we had a glitch at 12:30, which didn't have any kind of outage because we were aware of it. We had another one at 3:30, but at 5:30 the whole system went down. And the system that went down was the Vesta system, which is our call-taking system, and our radio systems through the microwave for the people that are connected to the system through the microwave. The problem we have is that we have some old technologies at Gateway. We have some old technologies that are being utilized to communicate with our different law enforcement agencies and different fire and sheriff's agencies. We have a solution, but that doesn't mean it's going to basically happen overnight. The problem that we had was that when the 5:30 outage went down, we didn't have anybody in the building at the time to be able to fix it. Our normal staff leaves at 4:30, and our night supervisor comes in at 7. He came in early and started working on it. But what we had to do was we basically contacted our Vesta rep, which is AT&T, to do the troubleshooting, and we got it back up within an hour. The short-term solution for this problem is that AT&T has agreed, or Motorola has agreed to give us a new UPS system. UPS system is a battery backup system for uninterrupted power source. That system will go into place as soon as it arrives and it has been shipped. So we shouldn't have these problems in the near future. Long-term solution, though, is that we need a better backup system. And that's why we've been that's why we've been exploring different alternatives for both our phone system and our data system, which basically allows us to go to the cloud for backup. With the cloud service backup, basically, we should not ever experience interruptions unless we have some catastrophic failures. And it also allows us to basically make our backup system, our what we call our DR, disaster recovery system, much more nimble, so that we can basically relocate to any one of our satellite branches, which would be our police or fire departments that have our radios and our data systems working there. It is unfortunate, but I will say that it was addressed relatively quickly. Our service tech is in Cleveland. That's the nearest one that services the Vesta system, and he was out immediately. But again, it takes a little bit of time to get from Cleveland to Lorain County. And one of the things we're looking at right now is the ability to remote in for AT&T, which is something that we have to have a discussion with our IT department as far as whether we want to allow remote access for them. The Vesta system has remote access, so were able to remote in through the Vesta system, through the AT&T people, to actually discover where the problems occurred and reset the system so that it was back up and operating. But again, we are dealing with technologies that were designed years ago, and it's just time for them to be upgraded and improved with our new recommendations for both our phone, Next Generation 911, and our cloud system for our Tyler New World software for our data entry. Todd, do you have anything to add?
Did this also impact our system of reverse texting when there's an issue? Because I received a text that the system was back up, but I didn't receive a text that it was down.
You're talking about the WENS system?
Yes.
Yeah, the WENS system is run by EMA. We don't really have anything to do with that. We basically send that out for all the cities to know that they have to dial a different number because the system was down, and that's what they did.
I just wondered if there was any value. My understanding is that database of people that are signed up for it is pretty significant. And if they knew that 911 was down, then it would save them the having to call 911 and not get an answer.
Well, they could still dial 911. The phones were rerouted.
Okay.
That were down. So we have cell phones within the system, and we have rerouting capability within the system too, which that's what we did. But again, it's quicker to just have them dial directly to the different departments that we're routing through anyway.
Okay.
I will add one other thing, that part of the issue with the system is the microwave. The microwave went down too, which is how we communicate with some of the departments and some of the radio systems in the county. Our solution for that is part of our Motorola update, and we're going to basically replace those microwaves with fiber optics and the technology associated with fiber optics so that we're not so much dependent on that older technology.
Sounds good.
With regards to WENS, you have to actually sign up for that service. It's
Right.
not that and there's an awful lot of residents in Lorain County that are not signed up. So regardless of whether WENS has it or not, we really need to ask people to sign up so we can get messages like this to them so that they can, and each city, I know North Ridgeville has WENS or has a service like that we get when roads are down or stuff, snow or what's going on. They do send stuff out, and I know that I'm sure that Avon Lake has a same service, but our WENS system actually covers the whole county. From that, I was hopeful that Johnette would be here, and rather than me make the presentation on BWC, it's a great opportunity for Johnette to talk and bask in the glory, so I'm not going to give her report. I'm going to ask her, I'm going to save that until either our next commission meeting in 2 weeks or the one on the following Friday after that. That completes my report.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I had another question to piggyback on what Commissioner Riddell said. I got the same message that he did on the back end, that it was turned back on, and then listening to what you just said about the WENS, how come EMA didn't send the message out then? If it, I guess I'm trying,
I guess
I really wasn't.
I guess I can
gonna
answer.
ask that, but you
I
brought it up,
can.
and
I'm
then
not.
your
I
answer
wish that
just seemed-
Dave Freeman was here, but because of what Rob just went through with regards to at 12:30 or 12:45 or 11:45, the issues that we're having. If you did that and send out a WINS that it's going to be down and how long, it doesn't really. It's not effective because we're actually sending a message out and it's only going to be down for 5 minutes. I can't give you an answer. I will ask Dave why he did not send it out, but I can only tell you if we use WINS for every little thing that is going on, it is going to become ineffective, at least in this administrator's mind. I can, obviously, we can change that, but I don't want it to be a point where you're going to get a WINS or you're going to get something that's only going to be down for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. We're never going to get to all the people anyway.
That makes
But
sense, Jeff, because if it is gonna be 5 minutes, but you don't know it's gonna be 5 minutes when it starts, and then maybe like a half an hour later. But, it does make sense, and since I see you shaking your head, Rob.
Yeah,
since it
I
was
just
a
want to,
gateway
I just
too.
want to add something about WENS. WENS is done by EMA, and it's targeted. So basically what they do is specific communities request a WENS notification to go out when there's some type of an emergency situation. In this case, it was a 911 outage. So not all of the communities needed to have a WENS call go out, so not all of them requested it. And Dave basically had to manage who was going to get these calls and who wasn't, because it didn't affect everybody necessarily the same way. That's the challenge with WENS, is because, like, let's say there's a tornado warning in the southern part of the county. The WENS notice doesn't necessarily go to the entire county. Sometimes, tornado's not a good example because tornadoes do go out to the whole county, but let's say a power outage. Those would only go to these areas that are affected by that power outage.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would also just, I think one of the things that we need to do is look at WINS, but also look at some additional technology that's out there. I just reviewed a new software package that would actually be able to bring in everybody's, almost everybody's cell phone for the county, that would then be able to broadcast out these kinds of things, but also allow us to take text back from people for, like, hey, there's a pothole, hey, there's a down power line, and be able to process some of that to the other communities. So there's some new technology that's coming out with AI and everything that I think we're just going to continue to investigate to move forward, like 911 currently is, with the new software going to the cloud and new phone system. So we're just going to continue to investigate and make improvements where we can.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you. That gives us great hope. And Jeff, to the part, the only thing that I would do to augment what you said is that the people who have signed up for WENS care enough to know that they sign up for WENS. So at the end of the day, if, you know, I just looked at it as an opportunity to do something a little bit better. And I agree that if you know that it's only going to be 5 minutes, that's fine. But if you're not sure what it's going to be, I think in an abundance of caution, going out to the people who do care about knowing what's going on. Okay, and I didn't know whether I got it because of WENS or whether I got it as a commissioner, but I got the text that just said that 911 was back up.
that completes my report.
Thanks.
I have nothing. Board correspondence?
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Is there any new business?
Not necessarily new business, but current events. Very proud to be part of the county government. This 2 weeks after Election Day, we have newly elected officials in some very key positions. And the outgoing administrations and the new administrations are working together for transition. And very proud of the office holder elects. Marty Gallagher is here today and has immersed himself into what's going on so that he can get a step up. And we also know that Jack Hall has been out to the sheriff's office, and that Sheriff Stemeti and Sheriff-elect Hall are working well, discussing changes that are going to occur in any change of administration, but also seeing to it that the transition is as peacefully complete as possible, so that service to the taxpayers is not interrupted. And so just want to reach out and say thank you. I'm proud that we're able to do some things that maybe don't happen in Columbus and Washington as they should.
The reason why I was late getting into this seat today, I received a phone call from Washington D.C. from Sean O'Brien, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. It was such an honor to receive his call. He was on the phone 3 hours with Trump yesterday. He was informing me, because of our contacts with Bobby Ina, our lobbyist, and he's his person. They actually retained him too. That we talked quite a bit today in regards to manufacturing coming to Ohio. Today, he's going to Mar-a-Lago, and they're going to announce with Donald Trump the new labor secretary. He did inform me who that was going to be, which I will not say right now because he shared it with me in confidence. But it was good to talk to him, and I grew up in Flint by Teamsters 332 local, and it was Jimmy Hoff was the era that I grew up in, and to see some of the photos. Bobby was there yesterday and showed me photos of the office where Jimmy Hoff was, and I talked to this gentleman quite a bit this morning about the needs for Lorain County and Ohio. He'll be on the phone most of the day, talking to other state elected officials in regards to manufacturing coming here, because Donald Trump did say that manufacturing is going to be his #1 priority, bringing it back here. And I want to make sure that Lorain County is well represented. It looks like we're going to be. So it was an honor to receive that phone call today. And as Casey was in the room seeing me bounce off the walls when I hung up, it was an honor to receive it, and it was a good conversation. So under new business, there's going to be a lot of new business coming to Ohio. So
Yes. But the best news of that was that it only took about 3 or 4 minutes to get Dave's head swelled back down to where we could get him out the door to come to the meeting.
yeah. Well, what's funny is I watched the Republican National Convention. Only watched one night, and that's when he spoke. And he spoke the longest, which I thought, he has the same disease I do, but he doesn't shut up. So I'm done.
Is there anything further under new business?
Nothing
And
further.
I don't believe there's any more public comment forms.
No, there's no more public comment. Our meeting is adjourned. We will not meet again until after Thanksgiving, so everybody observe one of our great American holidays in safety, and we'll see you back again on the 3rd of December.
Yeah.
Eat a lot, watch some football.
Yeah. Thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving.